Welcome to Life in Motion podcast with the best woman trio on the planet. On this podcast, we talk about all things related to navigating the complexities of day-to-day life and how we move with the ebbs and flow of all life brings our way.
We started this podcast because life be lifing, whether you're ready for it or not.
This episode has two parts. This is part one. We are covering values that contribute a lot to our identity, and we also touch on boundaries.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Hi, ladies. How are we feeling?
Okay, thank you.
Good.
I think for today's episode, we've been through a lot of emotions, but we're here. So I wanted to actually encourage our audience. Can you all please subscribe? And if you're listening to us on the podcast platforms, please hit the follow button. It doesn't cost you anything, and it means a whole lot to us, and it makes a difference. We've never done a podcast before. This is our first run. We are sort of learning how to edit as we go. We're sort of learning how to upload on these podcast platforms and work with it as we go. So please extend a lot of grace towards us in that area. Also, we're not all in the same place. Kit and I live in the UK, but we're miles and miles apart. Donisha lives in the Bahamas. I am not jealous at all. And sometimes we have good equipment and things, but there's only so much you can do in terms of how the network is going to be, Wi-Fi, all of that. Bear with us. And we have changed our upload days to Saturdays now. So initially we were going to post on Wednesdays, but after trial and error, we've realized Saturdays work best for us. So you can look forward to seeing an episode on Saturday or on Sunday, because if we upload on Saturday, sometimes it takes a while to kind of load up. So you might just see it on Sunday. So bear that in mind. So in today's episode, we are talking about becoming, the process of becoming and growing strong in your identity and your values. That's what today's episode is about. Who wants to start first? The first thing is, what values do you identify? Do you identify with? I want you guys to name 5 of your strong values each. Like your strongest value. Or let's make it 3, because 5 is a big number. Let's make it 3 of your strong values that you feel like forms a huge part of your identity.
I'd definitely say my faith. My faith would be number 1. The second value, I think I would just say honesty, integrity, being honest, and not necessarily in just not telling a lie, but being honest about who you are. Just being honest, just be an honest and genuine person. The third thing I would say, just be kind. Kind isn't necessarily the word I would use, but that's the closest word I could think about related to what's in my head right now. But just be kind, be relational. We're all trying to figure out and make sense of life, and just be kind, be human.
Kit.
So just like Nisha, my faith as well. And also maybe values basically are linked to what I want to stand for, right? So that's hard work. And also just being true to myself. I think that's my biggest value. Like I don't want to be doing things that that are not coming from the heart, or that is not genuinely me. So I try to be true to myself. So before, like, I used to be so much of a people pleaser. Like, I'm going to do things that are best for me, and as long as I'm not harming others, and as long as God is happy, that's what I would say my values are.
Those are a lot of good values. Hence why I respect and love you all so much, and look up to both of you so much as well. But yeah, okay, my 3 values. Okay, let me just give a disclaimer. I'm the corniest person out of all 3 of us. So I will say a lot of corny things, and that's okay. Okay, so now my values. I think my top 3 values, similar to Nisha, is integrity. Just integrity and honesty. It means so much to me, and it makes life so much easier. And openness. those three things sort of tie in together for me: integrity, honesty, openness. Just be honest about who you are, be genuine. Another thing that really means a lot to me: be kind and do your best. Be kind and do, it's free, and do your best. There's situations, I get it. Sometimes you can't be kind. Sometimes you got to give a bit of tough love or speak your mind a little bit. Great. But to your core, will it kill you to be kind? Be kind. Kindness means a lot to me. I know there's a lot of say it how it is sometimes, but yeah. I believe it's not always the case. You can say things how it is. You can be as brutally honest as you need to be sometimes, in a kind and loving way.
Yeah.
This whole say it as it is culture and just spill it out as it is, please just do it in a way that doesn't hurt somebody's feelings. So I'll say those are like three top values. I have so many more, but I'll say those are the three top ones. Integrity for sure, and authenticity. I don't like people that are not authentic. If you say this is who you are, please show me who that person is. Don't give me words. Words don't mean anything. Give me action. Don't sit here and complain about this from morning to evening, or complain about someone from morning to evening and meet them with open arms. Address it. Do something about it. Authenticity. If you say you're mean or you're a horrible person, I believe you. Let me see that side too. Like, let your actions and your words match. Be authentic.
Yeah.
Top value of mine. So another question that I had was, what what values do you identify as that you think has built your character and personality the most? Or what things do you, maybe not use the word values, but what's the thing that you aspire to be or want to be or means a lot to you, and you feel like has shaped your personality and your character a lot? Or you've used along the lines to build your character a lot? I feel like this question is very out there. Am I making sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
who wants to go first?
I mean, and I guess I could go, but I think the question does make sense. For me, it's always kind of identifying certain things in women that I admire and not trying to become them or trying to be a replication of who they are, but really just looking and be like, oh, I admire that she's not afraid to speak up or stand for herself, or oh, I admire how this person has really built their relationship with God, or I admire how this person treats their family or treats their friends. But being able to identify women that I can look up to, I think that has really shaped a lot of who I am and a lot of my life. Not that I'm trying to be them, but sometimes it's just people who've walked the road that you're trying to walk can give you a lot of advice and can give you a lot of wisdom. And there's no two ways. And so, of course, it's not going to look the exact same, but it does help to kind of be able to say, hey, how did you do this? Or how were you able to get over this kind of situation? So yeah, I think my life has been shaped, and who I've decided that I want to become is a mix of women that I admire and watching their lives and the results that their actions have produced in their own lives, but also what has God said? What has God said? What does He want me to do in this earth? And bringing, I guess, those two things together, and of course, my own desires. So those three things together, I would say, has where I become. That's where it comes from.
It's a tough question, actually, come to think of it. But for me, I think the things that I identify with that have built my character, my personality so far, I think number one would be my experiences. They have contributed so much because there's so many things I've learned the hard way. And when you learn things the hard way, you learn, baby. You learn. So I think experiences, the things that I've learned and picked up along the way, have built my personality, my character a lot. Also, question of what is my purpose on this earth? Why has God placed me here? It's another thing that drives me as well, and has also shapes my character a lot. Yeah, those things. And I think similar to Nisha as well, watching women that I know that I value and I hold high, I look up to, watching how they've done things, how they've lived their lives and things have inspired me a lot.
Yeah.
So added a lot to my character and my personality. Yeah, I think those are the things that have added to me and my personality and my character.
A part of my personality and who I was, obviously, like similar to you as well. I was thinking, like, there's so much when I look at, let's say, my mom, my aunt, my sister, people I look up to, I'm actually poured into me, and I can imagine I poured things into them, right? And also, again, I was talking about how always think of a legacy, the type of legacy that I'm leaving on this earth. Because at the end of the day, we are really, it's a harsh truth, but we are all going to leave this earth one day, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know when that day is going to be. So it's like, I feel like life is short, like how the Bible says, like our lives are like a vapor. So sometimes I have at the forefront of my mind, I'm always like, I need to be doing things that I know that God has placed me on this earth for. Whatever that God has given me, I want to maximize that. So those things require resilience, persistence. So these are things that are shaping, these are values that are qualities that are within me. And in terms of value, just the honesty and integrity. I mean, if you're, for example, I'm in the business world, right? So you have to have those, how the Bible also says, like a good name is better than silver. So you're trying to build, again, back to legacy. You're trying to build a good name, that's going to outlive you. So you, Nisha, there's people who I look up to, role models, and I see how they handle themselves, and I emulate them. Let me just put it that way. Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
live in a world where, especially back in the day when I was growing up, women were at a huge disadvantage. And I'm sure when you go back to the line, it gets worse and worse and worse. And seeing how these women have risen above and society's expectations and things and have built themselves into the strong women that they are, for me, that's so inspiring. It's not exactly like, I wouldn't say I copy it or,
Yeah.
but I value those things that I've seen in them. And I think it, like you said, Kit, it has poured a lot into me and who I have become.
Yeah. I think like we're all so interconnected. It's difficult to tease apart. Like if I think about who I am and I think about some of the things that I do and some of the things that I believe, I can trace it back to a relationship and going beyond like the role model, just a relationship. I've decided that I'm gonna have stronger boundaries because of relationships that abused the liberties that I've allowed them to have. Like I could trace the fact that I want to be in a certain type of like romantic relationship because of horrible past experiences with people that I was in relationship with, or because of beautiful relationships that I've seen. I can say that I want to be able to achieve this and do this because of like the examples that I've seen of people who've been able to achieve things that people were like, what you want to do with your life? Like, that's crazy. So everything is just, we're all just interconnected. And I could just trace a lot of who I am back to a relationship or a person. Whether that thing was good or bad is debatable, but I can always trace some kind of decision about who I am back to. Okay, this experience has taught me this. This experience has taught me that. And I'm not going back there. Or I want to do something
Brought up
different.
something that's very important, Nisha: boundaries. How do we all feel about boundaries? Hey, let me just say, me, I have learned the hard way. I feel like I've always had boundaries, but how strong was I in them? Maybe not too much. or how many times I maybe let my boundaries down just because, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like boundaries is very, very, very important, and it's something that's there to protect you. If you're going to talk about your personal values, you're going to talk about things that are making you who you want to become, the truest version of yourself. You cannot do that without boundaries. Even building confidence, you can't build confidence to a level without boundaries. For example, you have a group of people that always tear you down and tear you down, make you feel insecure. Maybe they always come at your physicals or your achievements or something. Bad, toxic energy. It could be family members, it could be friendships, it could be relationships, but you're somebody that's trying to be secure, be confident in who you are. When you are around that energy and when you keep putting yourself in those situations, please tell me how you're supposed to build that confidence. Or even if you have built that confidence, you're not made of steel.
Yeah.
Sometimes things can still break through and get you down. And when it comes from people you love, it's even more painful and it's more damaging. So if you say you want to be someone that's strong in your identity, strong in your values, you want to become the truest version of yourself, you have to have boundaries. You have to set boundaries to protect yourself, to protect your personal values. And sometimes it's even important to have those boundaries because the thing that you envision, like Charlotte said, your legacy, the tunnel vision that you have, that place that you want to be, you're not going to get there without having those boundaries in place. So let's touch on boundaries. I want you all to give me, again, 3 of your strongest boundaries that you have in place and why you have them in place.
So for me, it's I think of like work. I never ever mix, like when I go to work, I'm not going to work to be friends, you know. So my boundaries, they don't really know much about my personal life, and I'm not delving much in their personal life as well. But then I think some people, I don't know if that's healthy though, because at the end of the day, it's like these are people you also spend a long time with, you know, like now, like in one location, I work maybe in total per week, let me just say 20 hours a week. So I'm spending 20 hours with them, but then it's like, but it's just my boundaries. Because sometimes I feel like if people get into your space and know your personal too much, your personal life, then that's going to just interfere with just, there's going to be a lot of talk and a lot of things. I don't know if that is healthy. Correct me, guys.
Let me tell you 100%, that's a strong boundary of mine. I think you and I have had this conversation before. I do not go to work to make friends, honey. You stay there, you work, I work. We say hi, we're kind. I'll be kind to you.
Yeah.
I'm here to work and go home. You're not my friend. I'm not here to make friends with you. It's a strong boundary of mine as well. And yeah, I get that maybe you spend a lot of time with them, but when you hear a lot about like issues that go on in people's workplaces and the drama that stirs up, half of it comes from people thinking their colleagues are their friends.
Yeah.
Your colleagues are not your friends.
Yeah, no, it's be friendly, but don't be friends like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I don't see why my colleagues should be my friend. However, that being said, you get 1 or 2 outliers. There's always 1 or 2 people that you're like, this is a solid person. This is a genuine person. This person has my back inside of work and out. This is my friend. You get that 1 or 2 outliers. But I do not go into work with the mindset of going to make friends. We're here to work. We can even we can sit down for lunch together. We're still at work. I will keep it very much work related, because the way some people be carrying chest and begin comfortable and disrespecting their colleagues and driving their personal life into it, like, honey, oh no, baby, that's not going to be me. No. So that's a personal boundary of mine, and I don't think it's wrong in any way. It's just that's just your preference. And sometimes, half of the time when we set these boundaries, we've experienced it. We've been through the experience that has made us been like, this next time, this is how I'm going to do this, and that's that. So no, you shouldn't feel bad in the slightest. It's there to protect you.
Yeah. And then again, in the UK, there's this gossip culture, and the office gossip thing, and it's like, oh Lord, can we be productive and not gossip about your colleague? And the sad part though is, if you don't take part in the gossip, you probably are the topic of conversation.
Yeah. And even if you take part, at some point you'll be the topic of conversation anyway. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But we have that kind of culture here too, that gossip culture. And the Bahamas is very, very small. And I think you probably heard me say that before. The Bahamas is small, Nassau is small, and everybody knows somebody. So everybody is all up in everybody else's business. So that gossip culture is strong here too. So I completely, I get it. I would say a strong boundary of mine is that nothing is worth my peace. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing. No job, no person, no role. Nothing is worth my peace. And that boundary came about. That was always kind of a boundary, but it became an intentional and strong boundary that I make no compromises about. Maybe last year, just because a lot of things is going on last year, a lot. And sometimes when a lot is going on, you start to feel overwhelmed, and you could kind of drive yourself into a breakdown if you're not careful. And I just was like, and then people, when you're overwhelmed, the only thing people could say to you is, and not that this is bad, I believe in the power of prayer, but I'm praying for you, or here's a book, let you read the book, or you know what I mean? And they mean well, it's not even a bad thing. I welcome the prayer. I love prayer, and I believe that prayer helps. But a lot of times it's because you're trying to meet their expectations. And at the end of the day, they can't do anything to pull you out of that place of feeling overwhelmed. And so I'm like, okay, Dwanisha, your peace is your priority. Nobody else's priority. It's your priority. So definitely my peace, anything that disrupts my peace has got to go. I don't care what it is, it's gone.
Yeah. How many boundaries have you given so far, Nisha? 1 or 2? 1. And Kit has given one about the workplace. And I have sort of said I agree with the workplace boundary. What Nisha just said, I would say, is also a top boundary of mine in terms of the peace. And anything that affects me and my peace of mind is a no-go. Let me tell you, I am notorious for blocking people for life. I am notorious for blocking you for life. And nobody is exempt. Not even family members. That's how seriously I take my peace of mind. Because I find I'm a very sensitive person. So I need to be very careful what I let into my space, my personal space, my boundary, who has access to me. Because you will make me depressed, and you'll be sitting at home eating rice and chicken.
Exactly.
And I will be crying in my bed and crying myself to sleep because you have stressed me out. And no, I am so sorry, but no, I'm not going to let you do that. Because you know what? It's a form of self-betrayal.
Yeah.
You're betraying yourself. And when you let it carry on, you are worse than the people that are driving you to the dirt. Because when you betray your own self, that carries 10 packs of that punch that somebody just punched on you. So yes, I am notorious because I want to protect my peace of mind. Listen, I will try, and I will block. And it's for life. You stay in your lane unless you can take accountability. You can hold a proper conversation with me. And I'm not just saying chit-chatting. That conversation has to produce something. It has to have, we have to have an effective form of communication that's going somewhere. I am blocking you to protect my peace of mind. You are not going to stress me today. It's not because of you that my skin is going to age before its time.
Exactly.
And back to what you said also about the gossip, the work gossip and things, and another thing similar to everything we're saying, it all kind of ties in together. Sorry, Kit, I'll give you a second to speak.
I'm sorry.
But it's more like even gossip culture. Me, I don't know what I'm having for dinner. I'm trying to get through the shift, go home and have dinner. And when people offload on you, when they offload, even if you're not talking about someone else and it's about your life, I beg you, please, I'm not in the headspace to take it on today. Please, I'm not. So I'm not going to engage. So if people that love to just offload on you, even if it's not about gossip, even within the workplace, maybe it's not about gossip. Maybe it's something you're going through at home. I cannot work and take on that load at the same time. That's why I'm not going to make you comfortable enough to even then offload that load onto me. I don't want it. It's too heavy for me to carry. I haven't finished carrying my own. So yeah, those are two strong boundaries. Having boundaries at the workplace, protecting your peace of mind. I think those are strong boundaries for me as well. So I'm right there with you, ladies.
I was going to say, like, you are your greatest advocate, right? Whether it's for peace, whether it's for your sanity sometimes, because some people will be coming for your sanity. And it's like, you have to be the one.
She went there. You had to go there. Why are you so loud, kid?
Yeah, but honestly, because some people, they just don't even respect themselves enough to even practice boundaries in the first place. So they don't understand. It, for me, it goes as, don't call me by video call without telling me, like, you need
to. Sorry, but that thing is icky. It's especially when it comes from men. It's icky. Sorry, carry on. You triggered me.
Yeah. Don't call me anytime that you like calling. Like, I have things I'm doing, and I need to find out if I have the time and the head to be in the headspace to even talk about the things you would likely talk about and all those things. So you, Barbara, when you talk about when people just offload, like, wait a minute, like,
wait a minute.
But
you know, even within us, we're all such strong friends. Like, we have a good friendship. You guys are the people I would come to if I was going through something. I think it's very important to have support systems that sometimes hold you accountable as well. I don't want to be like, I've self-reflected, I know everything. No, I don't. But sometimes the people around me know me even more. And so sometimes I need kids, sorry. Sometimes I need kids to pick up the phone and hear me out and say, sis, was I wrong or was I right? Like, sis, do I need to be like, girl, no, or girl, yes? And I want to tell Kit, I want to call her and talk to her. But the first thing I'm going to text her and say is, can you talk, or are you in the right headspace to talk? We need to get into that habit. We need, and if you're someone that feels exhausted, depleted after you've been talking to some people, set that boundary for yourself. It will be good for your skin and your blood pressure and your blood sugar. It's just good for you. Spiritually, mentally, physically, it's good for you.
Yeah.
Maybe learn how to tell people, listen, I love listening to you. I love that you feel like I'm so good for you, that you can call me and I can be there for you. I love that you feel that way about me. But sometimes it's very difficult for me. It's exhausting. So can you please ask me before? And if they love you and they care about you and they're not just using you as a dumpster to pour their issues on, they will understand.
Yeah.
Put that boundary there for yourself. It's there to protect you. I do it with Kit. We've had this conversation a million times over. I will ask you, are you in the right place to hear me out? I'm going through something. Can I talk to you? I will ask you. If you say, girl, today I'm tired, or today is not the day, okay, when you're ready, you will hear me out.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we all need to get into the habit of doing. Because honestly, after some conversations, it's not your problem. It's not your issue, but you're tired.
You're drained afterwards.
You're drained.
Yeah.
Someone has just poured a lot on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you're going through your own stuff and then someone else comes and you pick up the phone and they just start to offload their stuff. So now you're carrying your own stuff that you haven't even had the time to sort through yet. And now you're carrying their stuff. It does become a lot. But yeah, I think that's a good boundary. I don't think I have that boundary. But I actually think that's a great, great, great boundary, because sometimes I do come off the phone like, Jesus, I'm going through my own stuff today. I could barely encourage myself. I don't know if I have it in me right now to really take on this other situation as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes we all struggle with a bit of codependency. And I think when you think of being codependent, you think, oh, maybe you relying on someone too much, or you not being able to do with someone. But sometimes codependency, like, when some people is like, oh, I rely on this person too much, or I'm always there for this person. That's codependency can also look like, when someone you love is going through something. Say maybe you have a family member, a friend who's an alcoholic or is in an abusive relationship. What codependency can also then look like is you always trying to problem solve for them calling you, and because you love them so much, they're not going to do anything at the end of that conversation, or the 50th conversation you had before that, nothing has been done. But you always being that access to them, they talk to you, they offload a bit, they'll be like, oh, when I talk to you, I feel so much better. Guess what the next day is? The same ball game. They will pour it again. They will pour that drink again. They will smoke that spliff again. And I'm talking about addiction. And they will go back to that abusive relationship. And what you're doing every time is you're going, they're there, feel better. And they feel like they feel better in that moment, and they go again. And you probably would think they are the codependent one, but you are codependent because you love them so much and you want to protect them so much. You're always there supporting their bad behavior sometimes. What you need to do in situations like that is set that boundary. Be like, listen, I've said this a million times. You're not doing anything about it. You coming here to offload on me every day. It's upsetting because when you hear people you love going through things, it's painful for you too. So yeah, maybe you talk to them, they go, you rub their wounds a bit, they feel better, they go, they feel better, they repeat the same thing, and you're there feeling depleted for someone that you love is going. And sometimes you can't do anything but give them that tough love and be like, listen, don't call my phone again till you sort yourself out. When you sort yourself out and you're ready to call me, pick up that phone and call me, and I will be here for you, and I will pour as much love into you as I possibly can. Tough love too. Sometimes set that tough love boundaries. There's people that I don't talk to, and it's not because I don't love them and I don't want to talk to them. They're making me tired, and me always cleaning up after their mess, it's not doing them any favors. They have to go and learn for themselves. So that's also another strong boundary to have, especially when you have family members that are going through things. I think that's the most painful thing. I was saying sometimes it seems like, someone relying on you all the time, like unhealthy reliance on you all the time is the codependent. Sometimes you are codependent as well. So it's these sort of boundaries of like putting things in place on how much you are willing for people to offload on you is super, super important. And sometimes people need that tough love as well to get themselves sorted out. Because as especially in situations like that, I'm sorry, Kit, sometimes people just want to pour, and they're not doing anything about it. Sometimes they need that tough love to give them that extra bit of a nudge so that when they're really and truly tired, they can do something about it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, especially people know the solution. They just want to offload, like you were saying, like you're now a trash can where people just offload things on you. It's like, no, you know the solution to that problem, but you just want to vent. I like this saying that somebody says, like, if you tell one person, so if you tell 3 people your problem, by the time you get to the 4th person, you're really looking for attention, really. You're not looking for the solution. And the thing is, I honestly feel like sometimes, and also there's another quote that says, you should help women belong to themselves. So that means that they should don't just entertain your friends venting to you, help them to make their decisions, to think and to really come up with solutions rather than complaining over the same thing over and over again. It's like you come to me with this thing, like 5 years later, we're still talking about this thing. Like you're still talking about this guy you just don't like so much. Girl, you know what you need to be doing. Like, you know, you need to be leaving this man, but it's like you just want to vent. So absolutely, I think that that's also part of self-care, right? Like if you filter the trash that people are telling you and all these things and people venting to you, that means you're not taking in a lot of this how can I say it's almost
Negative energy.
exactly, thank you, negative. Yeah, thank you.
Can I
Yeah.
just say, it's something I feel like when you're younger, in your teens, it's very common to complain about the same thing every single day and not do much. At that time, you're not well equipped. You're not grown enough. I get it.
Yeah.
But after 25, when they say your brain has fully developed, get off my phone, please. You're grown. Get off my phone, please. And another thing I wanted to add is when we do these things, we think we're helping these people. You're not. You are not. You're actually doing them a disservice. Because they need to learn. Sometimes people need to learn the lessons for their own self. If I'm there doing hush hush baby, there you are. How are you going to learn the lesson for yourself? Sometimes people need to experience these things for you're standing in the way of someone learning something.
Yeah. And talking about it is always easier than doing something. So like the people who always want to talk about what the issue is instead of actually doing something to help themselves, they really just want to hear themselves talk. And it does feel good to talk about the issue, right? Because people do talk therapy because they need to talk about their issues and they need to deal with them. And it helps them to get it off their chest and it relieves some of the emotional burden. But there's a professional that's skilled and trained to carry that. I'm not that professional. I'm not skilled and trained to carry it all of the time. And also, they're being paid to carry that. They're being paid to sometimes hear the same thing over and over and over and over again. And I think you have to get to a point where it's like, okay, I'm going to make the decision to do better. I'm going to make the decision to be better. And it can't just be talking. I think last week or in one of the episodes anyway, we talked about the fact that the journey of being different or doing something different is a lot of work. It's hard work. It's hard work. It's messy work sometimes. It's difficult sometimes, but you have to do it. And when you do it, you're better for it. But a lot of people don't want to journey through that difficulty, don't want to journey through that mess. When I have to look at my stuff and I go, oh crap, okay, I need to work on that. Oh, okay, this is a place of trauma. Oh, this is this, or this is that. It's a hard journey. It's a hard journey, and you just have to decide to do it. But even with the codependency thing, if you're just answering people's being the solution to people's problems all the time, they're not gonna see it necessary for them to be their own solution or find the solution for themselves. Yeah, because they know they always have. Oh, I'm just gonna call Barbara. Because Barbara's going to make me
100%. 100%. This is so true. And trust me, I've been in a lot of situations like that. A lot, with especially family members.
Yeah.
You have to draw the line, baby. Give them that tough love because they're not going to learn. You are actually doing them a disservice.
Yeah.
You're not allowing them to learn and grow and figure things out for themselves.
Yeah. You're doing your work for yourself. Go ahead, kid.
No, I was just going to say, but how do you deal with the backlash, though? Because if you tell them that, they'll be like,
don't deal with it.
The backlash will come by fire, by force. It will carry muscles and be coming. But listen, you know what when I make up my mind and I know this thing, you see the vision. They don't deal with it. They are not there when this person is offloading on you. Yeah. They don't feel the things that you feel. Okay? They're not there when you're taking the disrespect. They are not there. When they come, you fire it 10 times back to them. Because that's what I do. I'll be like, hey, who do you think you're talking to? First of all, it's none of your business. And if you start talking to me and backlashing in a way I don't like, I'm blocking you too. Because at that point, you're also overstepping my boundary. If I have one thing I get very protective over, if I have set something in place to protect me, my peace of mind, because when people are when things are happening and it's dragging me into depression, I'm crying myself to sleep. Where are you then?
Exactly.
Where are you then? So if you come at me with that energy, I will be very protective of myself and I will block you too. Because at that point in time, you don't love me. You're not hearing me. You're not caring about me. I've put this boundary in place to protect me. It's my life, my peace of mind. Some people are not going to understand it. Some people, especially in Ghanaian culture, we have something called Jaimaninka. Like, just leave it. It's okay. Your family. Oh, just leave it. That's your friend. No, that person is trying to kill me. And I will block them today. Okay?
Yeah.
Because when I'm crying to sleep and I cannot eat food and I just want to die because I am just finished. They have depleted me spiritually, mentally. You're not going through that pain. I'm feeling my pain. So if I say one thing, if I say something drains my energy or I find this too much and I put that boundary in place and you backlash, I hate you too. And I will make sure at that point in time, we have a problem because you're attacking my life. I'm sorry, it sounds so dramatic, but I know the places where I know the dark places where these things drag me to. So if you don't understand, just say you don't understand and be minding your business over there. But if you come at me for it, oh, baby, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that because I will block you too. Because at that point, you're also overstepping a boundary. And I will sleep like a baby. I will sleep like a baby. I will snore. I know, and I've seen what I've gone through. My struggle, I've felt my struggle. And honestly, I don't think anybody is worth you getting to a place where you want to die. Nobody's worth it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's little things that chip away at you. It's not one thing. It's all the many different things. It might not even be something that big and dramatic, but they chip away and they lead you there. I don't want to be in that dark place. And if you don't understand it, then that's your problem. That's a you problem, not me.
Yeah. And after you've let them do that for so long, at the end of the day, the only thing they're gonna say is, "Oh man, I'm so sorry that's happening to you." That's how's that gonna help you? And so you have to know what you could handle. You have to know what's good for you. You have to know what boundary line needs to be drawn. And and how do you deal with it? Don't. I mean, my friends are like, Nisha, you detach way too easily. You detach so easy for people. And I'm like, sometimes the line sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes the hard line just needs to be drawn, and it's not even about the person all the time. It's just about me. This is what I know that I can handle, and this is what I know drives me into a place that I don't want to be. It's not conducive to who I'm becoming and who I want to become. And so it has to go. If it's not gonna push me further into the place that I need to be, if it's not going to push me further into purpose, then what are we doing? If it's not helping me, and I'm not talking about a selfish thing where it's all about, me, you got to help me, and I don't want to pour into nobody or help anybody. It's not even about that. It's just about how much energy is this taking away from me? And is this sapping so much of my energy that I can't even do the thing that I was put on the earth to do? And if it gets to that point, then it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah. And I feel like when you do set these boundaries and you get these backlash, approach it in a kind and I'll approach it in the beginning. I'll be kind, loving. I'll express myself. Or even if you ask for an explanation, I will explain to you. Even if it's someone I'm cutting off, I'll let you know why I'm cutting you off. The way you receive that, you have to tread lightly. Because once I've also been kind and I have expressed myself, and you still want to carry on with that disrespect and you don't want to stay in your lane, I will say whatever I need to say and I'll still block you. Nisha, I know you're saying you detach easily, but you also probably give so many chances.
Yeah.
And that's me. I give way too many chances. So after the last straw, when I say I'm done, I beg you believe me, I'm done.
with people that I get back to the talking therapy, I get why people do that, right? Because Nisha, you just explained. But then, like you were saying, it's not the healthiest thing to the recipient, right?